series called The Gift of a Child, and part 5 is going to conclude on December 24th at 6 o'clock, our Christmas Eve service. So you not want to miss it, especially if you've been following all along through this series. And today's message is entitled Painless and Hassle-Free Christmas. How many would like a painless, hassle-free, cost-free Christmas? A lot of hands go up. But then notice the next word. Really? With a question mark. Is that even possible? Now, I do want to remind you that if I happen to go through this message and you can't fill in all the blanks, if you're one of those kind of people that have to have every blank filled in, and it doesn't happen, go on the website, go to the media page, and you can download the outline. It's already filled in for you. Some people this morning said I was like a ricochet rabbit. I was just going all over the place, and they weren't able to fill in the blanks. So if that happens again, there's your option. Well, let's take a look at Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 6, and then jumping down to verses 13 through 16. The Word of God says this, beginning at verse 1 of Matthew 2. Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the reign of King Herod. About that time, some wise men from the eastern lands arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star as it rose, and we have come to worship him." King Herod was deeply disturbed when he heard this, as was everyone in Jerusalem. Just a little note here. In this case, when the king got mad, everyone got scared. Herod was noted for having a very poor disposition. So when he was disturbed, people took notice and they were much concerned. So it says Herod was deeply disturbed. Everyone else in Jerusalem felt likewise. He called a meeting of the leading priests and teachers of religious law and asked, "Where is the Messiah supposed to be born?" "In Bethlehem in Judea," they said, "for this is what the prophet wrote. And you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not least among the ruling cities of Judah. For a ruler will come from you who will be the shepherd for my people Israel." And now jumping down to verse 13. After the wise men were gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up, flee to Egypt with the child and his mother," the angel said. "Stay there until I tell you to return, because Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." That night Joseph left for Egypt with the child and Mary his mother, and they stayed there until Herod's death. This fulfilled what the Lord had spoken to the prophet, "I called my son out of Egypt." Herod was furious when he realized that the wise men had outwitted him. He sent soldiers to kill all the boys in and around Bethlehem who were 2 years old and under, based on the wise men's report of the star's first appearance. Well, before we pull apart the scriptures this morning, I was reading of a little boy who so desperately wanted a watch for Christmas. Each day he asked about his watch. "Oh, Dad, can I please have a watch? Mom, you know what I really want? I want a watch." Every time he opened up his mouth, he was asking or talking about a watch for Christmas. Finally, the father got pretty perturbed, and he told his young son that next time he mentioned the word watch, he would not get one for Christmas. So the boy kept quiet about the watch until one night at supper time. You see, this family had a tradition. Every night before supper, some member of the family had to recite scripture before the blessing. Well, finally it was this boy's turn, and he was anxious to share his scripture verse. Matthew 13:37, "And what I say to you, I say to all, watch." Well, during this time of year, for some of us it can be all about the presents and what we want wrapped underneath the Christmas tree. But for us in this room, we know the true meaning of Christmas. It has nothing to do with any wrappings or presents. It's the priceless gift of Jesus himself. But you also need to understand that that first Christmas did not come without a price tag. Trouble never takes a holiday. How many have discovered that? It always seems to be lurking at the door. So this morning, I'd like us to look at the hassle, the hurt, but most importantly, the hope of Christmas. I think we all know that Christmas can often be filled with hassles. Charles Dickens put the following words in the mouth of Ebenezer Scrooge. "What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart." Humbug about this Christmas thing pretty much sums up Scrooge, doesn't it? In fact, there might be a part of the series, I'm not sure if I can weave it in, that I wrote years ago, a poem entitled The 12 Days After Christmas. It deals with Alka-Seltzer, paying off revolving credit cards and that kind of thing. If I can kind of find it and kind of resurrect it, I'll share it with you. But you know, the hassles of Christmas could be that it costs too much. We're just spending too much money. Or it even could be that there's so much time that we have to invest in shopping or decorating or making sure we attend certain parties because it's important either to those inviting us or to ourselves. And I believe that the biggest word about the hassle is the stress that goes with all the things that kind of surround doing things at the Christmas season. But don't feel bad. If you sense some feelings of being hassled, I want you to know that it was a hassle for Mary and Joseph on that first Christmas as well. First of all, think of the hassle in regards to Mary's pregnancy. Now, Joseph and Mary were betrothed, but they were not officially married. And back in that day, Joseph literally could have had Mary brought to the town center and stoned. But the Word of God says he wanted to put her away privately. You see, Joseph was made of a different cloth. And he loved Mary. He didn't want to harm her, but he couldn't understand how in the world she got pregnant. But then an angel appeared before Joseph and explained the whole thing to him. But you know, if I was Joseph, I said, okay, I get it. Thank you so much. But why don't you go explain it to everybody else? I mean, why don't you go tell mom and dad and the neighbors and the rest of the family what's going on? Then imagine the hassle Mary endured as an unwed mother, and then still trying to put a wedding together while she's pregnant, and hearing in the background all these whisperings and rumors and gossip. Oh, Joseph, why would he do such a thing? And Mary, such a nice girl, who would have thought of Mary getting pregnant out of wedlock? But the hassles are just beginning. Because not long after the wedding, the emperor ordered every male Israelite to return to their birthplace and pay a new tax. A tax that never existed before. A bill Joseph hadn't planned on paying, and of course it was a trip he didn't plan on taking. Now his bride is ready to give birth, and with this extra expense and trip that he has to take. Wow, I don't know about you, but that's a lot of hassle. Somehow Joseph scrounges up the money and they head out for Bethlehem, where they meet another hassle, one that you're very familiar with. There was no room in the inn. With a wife about to give birth, Joseph settles for the only accommodation available, a stable. Dirty stable, surrounded by stinking animals, without a doctor, without a nurse, without an epidural. Mary gives birth. And now everything seems to be fine. But not for long. Because we come to verse 13. And it records that after Jesus is born, an angel brings a message to Joseph. Take Mary and the baby to Egypt because King Herod is going to try to destroy the baby. Now, let me just pause here for a moment. It's a rhetorical question, but how would you feel right now? I think I'd say, well, you know, enough's enough. I mean, haven't we gone through enough already? Well, why don't you just zap paired with an aneurysm. I mean, give him a heart attack or something. Why do we have to go through this? But as we read the account, Joseph packs up his family and heads for Egypt, where he gets a job and he does housekeeping until the angel comes back and tells him it's all right to return to Bethlehem. Over and over, Joseph and Mary endured hassle after hassle for the sake of the Christ child. I want you to know something else in the narrative. For every hassle, God provided. Isn't that amazing? He sends angels to explain what he's doing. He provides funds for them to get to Bethlehem. He even saves a private reservation in a stable. Their own place. It is. Very secluded. And then he sends wise men's gifts to finance the rescue of Jesus to Egypt. So over and over, the story reminds us that God always provides and deals with the hassles of life. If he did it back then, I dare say he's going to do the same thing even today for you and for me. So no matter what your hassle is, no matter what you're going through during this Advent season, God stands in the shadows offering his help. Now understand, God's not Santa Claus, he's not the tooth fairy, he's not the genie, but he will always give you exactly what you need. He won't always save you from every pothole in the road, but he'll give you the grace to keep on going. And he won't knock off everybody who threatens you, although sometimes that wouldn't be a bad idea. But he does protect you in the midst of all that's happening. So when Christmas is full of hassles, remember God is full of help. Psalm 46:1, it says this: God is our refuge and strength, a very present, and I will add, abundantly available help in trouble. So are you struggling with some Christmas hassles? I would say then just pause, cast all these cares upon him, knowing he cares for you, and God will help you. But the next thought is a difficult thought for me to share, is that Christmas also can be full of hurt. It can be a painful time, maybe for even some right here in this room. It can be a time of grief, missing a loved one who has passed on. Sometimes it's the pain of living in a sick and handicapped body. For a single person or a divorcee, they may dread spending another Christmas all by themselves, alone. Families of military men and women miss loved ones even more at Christmas time than any other time of the year. So Christmas can not only be full of hassles, it can be full of hurt. And many times the question comes, Lord, why do you allow such pain and heartache on Christmas? But if the truth be told, Christmas has been full of hurt ever since Jesus was born. The particular pain in the story I read for you comes after Joseph and Mary leave Bethlehem for Egypt. Herod tried to fool the wise men in giving the location of where this child was going to be born. He tried to fool them. However, the wise men ended up fooling Herod, which really wasn't such a good idea, because it sends him into one of his characteristic rages, and he gives orders to his troop to ride out to the little town of Bethlehem on a special mission. Can you imagine the villagers as the soldiers come riding in? They have no idea why they're coming into Bethlehem. They have no concept of what is going on, but there probably is fear in their faces as they see the army coming to their small town. Perhaps the army started to round up all the families with small children. Then they grouped those families out into those with small sons. And finally they called out families with small sons 2 years old and younger, and carried out the orders. Moms and dads, how would you feel in the horror of that moment? I'm going to interject here, but I think I know your heart well enough, and I know mine. I think the soldiers had to kill some parents as well before they ever got to the sons. I think more lives were lost that day than we can even begin to imagine as they stood in the way to keep these soldiers from taking their family. How many of them called out to God to save their sons? But in the end, it made no difference. These innocent children were slaughtered like lambs, and horrified parents left screaming in grief as the soldiers ride away. And no one even tells them why all this had to happen. And we ask, Lord, why did you send an angel to every parent like you sent an angel to Joseph to warn them of what was going to happen? Why did you just simply strike down Herod for he carried out such a wicked plan and do such a horrible thing? Why did you allow such pain and suffering and death at the very birth of your son? I don't know if you've ever wondered about these questions, but I imagine the devastated families did. And I know many of us since have wondered why God allows pain and suffering and devastation and death, especially during the Advent season. And here I stand as your pastor, and I'm going to tell you, I do not have answers to any of this. But even if I did, I don't think any answer would heal the hurt that lies deep within. But all I really do know is that God makes a promise to all of us who are in this kind of pain. He promises His presence. In Psalm 34, 18 through 19, we read, "The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart, and saves such as a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous," how well we know, "but the Lord delivers him out of them all." It's as if God is saying, when I don't stop the pain, I will always hold you. I will always comfort you. Always be there to help you and give you the grace to keep on going until the day I take the pain away. And that brings me to the most promising of this part of the message. Christmas can bring you hope. You know, people live decades bearing the heavy burden of shame and guilt of wrong choices or other situations they've done in life. And a lot of them just kind of bear this pain that they have no hope of forgiveness and no hope for peace. People can spend all their energy and their money and their resources looking for purpose, looking for meaning, looking for some kind of direction, and after all is spent and done, they're still in the same situation, and like we talked about last week, sometimes even worse. People can live and die with absolutely no hope that they will live again after they take their last breath here on planet Earth. Do people really live without hope? You and I understand millions do, but they don't have to. The boy who lived, born in Bethlehem, snatched from the jaws of Herod, offers you hope beyond your wildest dreams. Because he lives, you and I too can live and have hope for today and strength for tomorrow. You know, Jesus didn't die in Bethlehem because his hour had not yet come. It would not come until many years later, when Jesus would willingly, purposely lay down his life on the cross to offer you and I hope. The baby in a manger grew up to be the man on the cross. And that cross has always, to this very day, been the symbol of hope to the hassled, hurting people who need to know that God cares so deeply about them. That's why you and I can celebrate at Christmas. We celebrate the hope God gives us through his Son. Hope for today, hope for tomorrow, hope for eternity. So God doesn't offer us a hassle-free, pain-free life, but He does offer us a hope-filled life through our faith in Christ. I'm going to ask the praise team if they come back to the platform right now. And as they do, Christina Rosette wrote the following poem that I believe reveals both the wonder of Bethlehem as well as the power of the cross. Listen to these words. That night when shepherds heard the song of the angelic hosts caroling near, a deaf man turns in slumber's spell and dreams that he can hear. That night when in the cattle's fall-swept mother and a child in humble fold, a crippled turned his twisted limbs and dreamed that he was whole. That night when o'er the newborn babe a tender mother rose to lean, a loathsome leper smiled in sleep and dreamed that he was clean. That night when to a mother's breast the little king held secure, a harlot slept a happy sleep and dreamed that she was pure. That night when in a manger lay the Holy One who came to save, a man turned in the sleep of death and dreamed there was no grave. What shall be our gift to Him? What shall I give Him poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I'd give Him a lamb. If I were a wise man, I'd do my part. What can I give Him? I know. I'll give Him my heart. What hope lies sleeping in your heart this morning? Jesus Christ, the babe born in Bethlehem, the boy who lived, the man who died, offers you hope in spite of your hassles and in the midst of your deepest hurt. This morning, Jesus invites you to come to Him and hope again. Hope in spite of the hassles of life. Hope beyond all the hurt that may be taking place. You can find that right now this morning. As we stand to sing our closing song, Have You Any Room for Jesus? The altar is available. We'll just be singing the first verse. If God's been speaking and you want to just cast your hassles and your hurts over to Him, we bid you come. Let's stand together.